Hey, it's Nathan Selove from Okra Films with another edition of Autism Actually Speaking. Today's episode is from a request that I got a few weeks back. Using autism as an insult. And with all the videos on YouTube that are being demonetized for talking about things like autism and or disability, I feel like this is an appropriate topic. Now this video is going to take a little bit of a different route to what you might expect. If the solution was a simple do not use autism as an insult, then it could be summed up in 6 words. What I'm more interested in is discussing how we got to the point in which the use of the word autism was inherently insulting and or offensive. Now, growing up, I learned that I was autistic at a pretty young age, so whenever I heard the word autistic, it was usually said in a descriptive sense. My first encounter with the word autism being used as an insult was actually a pretty proud moment for me. It was when I was in high school and I was in a study hall classroom, and there was a guy in there who was autistic who was talking to me, and this other guy kind of came up and said, "Oh, I'm sorry about how annoying he is. He's autistic." So I just kind of looked at him and I was like, so am I. You got a problem with that? I was a little bit caught off guard by this, but then I kind of just stood up to him and I explained how I didn't see that as an insult. And after a few more exchanges and dialogue, he just kind of backed off. Now this individual was a troll and a bully, but let's talk a little bit about why he used autism as a societally accepted insult. First off, there's the fact that insults are almost always used as a means of casting another person as being the other, outside of society, as the deviant or atypical or abnormal. And because disability is, by definition, outside of the norm, atypical, it's only natural that disabilities are often drawn upon to create insults. When it comes to those of us on the autism spectrum, viewing autism as an insult is a means of establishing neurotypical superiority. And unfortunately, that does go for both the trolls of the world and the well-meaning people of the world. Now, there will always be trolls in the world. And I'm not saying that excuses their behavior, but it also does mean that we can't really rely on them to be advocates for the autism community. So this is more focused on the well-meaning people of the world. People that actually do care about autism and want to help us. So this is mainly for people that when they hear that someone has autism, they immediately think, oh, I need to show pity for this person because they don't have a normal life. And if I hear someone use the word autism in a casual way or an insulting way, I need to make sure that I stand up for them because they can't stand up for themselves. And this is only adding to that horrible experience that they already have living as someone with autism. Now, I'm not saying that you can't stand up to someone who uses the word autism as an insult, but don't do it in a way that makes it sound like we are objects of oppression. Also, don't assume that just because our experiences are different, that they're automatically bad or inferior. Now, there are certain parts of autism that are inherently disabling. The oversensitive sensory receptors, for example. And there are varying levels of that for different people. But I would also argue that a lot of the other struggles that we go through are societally constructed. Things that wouldn't be a struggle if we lived in a society that were majority autistics. So if you're someone that wants to stop the use of autism as an insult, then stop viewing it as an insult. View it as a description. Or better yet, an identity. A word of pride. Trolls are going to be trolls, and bullies are going to be bullies. And we should never accept that behavior. However, we also shouldn't submit to their narrow neuronormative narrative. So if you're a neurotypical, and you want to be an ally for the autism community and help solve this problem, the next time you're hearing someone using the word autism as an insult, rather than challenging them by saying, you shouldn't do that, that's offensive, challenge them by asking the question, why? Why is that an insult? What's so bad about being autistic? And if you're an autistic, and someone throws the label of autism at your feet, expecting you to take it as a verbal blow, a show of deviance, pick it up. Wear it as a badge of honor. And say thank you. Well, that's today's episode. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like, a share. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other videos. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or topics you'd like addressed, please leave them in the comments below. Or message me on my Facebook, also linked below. And remember, If your romantic partner says she wants to slice you open and crawl inside your stomach like you're a tauntaun, and you think that's romantic, you might be autistic. And she probably is too.